Okay guys, we've got a lot to go through today. I'm going to show you how you can completely automate your entire SEO system thanks to all of the AI enabled tools that are around today. Things have drastically changed in 2026, and some of the old flows that would have taken you literally hours to do can now be entirely automated. The main thing that we're going to look at is this prompt here. And if you want the prompt, just comment prompt, I'll send it over. And we're going to pop this into a tool like Claude Code. You can use the website, the desktop app, or even the CLI. It doesn't really matter. In this demonstration, I'm going to be using the desktop app. And what we're going to do is pop this into Claude Code, replace all of the dynamic elements at the top. And then using that, we're going to find keywords automatically that we can actually rank for based on our domain rating. So rather than just going off and find any old keyword within our niche, we have to find keywords that have a keyword difficulty relative to our domain rating, because otherwise you're just not going to rank and you're not going to get very good results if you pursue SEO that way. So this prompt is smart enough that it can go off, figure all of this information out, and only give you keywords that you can actually rank for. And that's going to be really important. So first off, let's look at some of the results of other websites that are following this same strategy. So this first website here, it's got organic traffic of 25.3 thousand every single month. This would cost $29,000 every single month, but they're getting it for free in this case. And you can see they're also being mentioned by LLMs as well. They've got a really high domain rating, which means they're able to rank for really good quality, high volume keywords. But you can see they've been doing this for a really long time. The traffic started to trickle in around December 2021. And of course, it's 2026 now. So SEO is a slow game, and they've invested over the years, and it's really started to pay off. You can see that it's almost like an exponential growth curve here as the traffic just spikes right up until 2026. So it starts off slow and then starts to grow over time. That's something that we need to keep in mind when you're doing SEO. It's pretty much a long game. We've got this other website here that's not been going for such a long time. It only started in 2025, but they're already able to capture 2.1 thousand organic visits every single month to a value of $750 per month. They're only ranking for 4 keywords, but that's because they've not been doing this for a very, very long time. They've got a much lower domain rating, not as many AI citations, but they're already able to capture some traffic from following this method. So even early on, within the first few months, you'll start to see results, but those results will massively compound the longer that you do it. So it's really important to remember that SEO is going to be a long game. And the fact that it takes so long to do means it's really important that we can automate all of these steps as well. So let's look at the tools that we're going to be using to do this. The first one is a tool called Claude Desktop. So the one that I mentioned here. So obviously everyone's heard of Claude, and we're going to pop in this prompt here, and that's going to find the keywords for us. Once we've found those keywords, we're going to put them into a tool called Spectre, which is an SEO automation tool for generating articles. And then this is going to go off and turn those keywords into articles and then publish them on our website automatically, so we can start to capture some of those organic keywords through highly valuable content that people will actually read, and then convert a small portion of these users into paid customers. That's the whole play for SEO. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. It really is that simple. So what we'll do is we'll copy this entire prompt to start, and then we'll head over to Claude Code, and then we'll just paste it in. And then we'll scroll up to the top and we'll start filling in the information for our own website. So I've filled in the details here for a website called Salt. This is just a website that I found online that I've realized doesn't have a very decent blog. So they could benefit massively from following this kind of strategy. So we've filled in all of the business details. We've got the name, the website URL, the industry or niche, primary product or services, target location, and then target audience. All of these dynamic variables are then going to be used throughout the prompt to first understand the business, map the competitive landscape. So this is going to go off and do actual web search and find real results online. So it'll find the competitors, it will mine competitor content as well to see what keywords they're also ranking for, because this is a really strong signal to show us what keywords we can also rank for. We'll explore long tail variants. So this means if we've got a really high keyword difficulty term, like let's have a look at Ahrefs, for example. If we type in a term like hydration, you'll see it's got a very, very high keyword difficulty, which means it's super hard. This is basically impossible to rank for unless you're an extremely large website that's been running for potentially decades. But what you can do is target long tail variants that contain this keyword. So these are variants that people would more likely search for in search engines, but they're less competitive. So here, for example, we've got one word, is milk good for hydration? And you can see that's got much lower search volume, but if we click into it, it's also an easy keyword. So we could actually rank for this. So we could create one article around this particular keyword, and then we'd be able to rank for that even with a new site. Even though it's only got low search volume, if we can then start to rank for thousands of these keywords, and this is where automation comes in, then you can start to compound and really see how over time you start to gain a lot of traffic. So if, for example, we just ranked for 10 keywords like this, we'd target a search volume potential of 9,000 every single month. So back in Claude Code now, or Claude Desktop should I say, we've got the full prompt and it's really, really detailed. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything because there's a lot in this. It's mainly written for AI agents rather than humans, and it goes into a ton of details to maximize the quality of the results that we get at the end. So once you've put in the dynamic details at the top, we'll just press enter on this, and then Claude's going to go off and it's going to actually do web research. So it's going to actually search the web, find context about the website, research competitors, do a bunch of synthesization of the data before finally coming back to us with some solid results. So we'll leave this running for just a second and then we'll come back once the keywords have been returned to us. And again, if you want this prompt, just comment prompt below and I'll send it over. Now, while this is working away, let's just have a look at how Spectre is going to work to turn those keywords into articles that we can rank for. So if you go to the Spectre homepage, you'll see an example dashboard of what you would see once you put your website in. So Spectre is going to give us our domain rating, the maximum keyword difficulty that we can target, the potential missed traffic opportunities based on all of the keywords if we were to rank for all of them. And then it's going to start to actually plan articles around the keywords that you've put in so we can start ranking on Google. So we'll see a content overview like this, and initially it's going to look pretty bad if you haven't invested in SEO at all. But over time, you'll start to see this number improve as you start to rank for more keywords and get more organic traffic. So once we've got the keywords from Claude, just head over to spectreseo.com, create an account, pop them in, and then you'll start to have articles generated every single day and published to your website automatically. So if we head back over to Claude Code now, we can see that after thinking for a good 5 minutes, the results are finally in, and we've found some solid long tail variants that this website, Salt, can now rank for. We've got electrolytes for fasting UK, sugar-free electrolytes UK. So you can see that the brand is UK based, and that's why we're targeting long tail variants that are less competitive because they're focused on the specific region. So what we would do is we would copy all of these keywords. We'd come into Spectre SEO. We'd click at the top here on the schedules page, add keywords. You just paste in the keywords as is, and then click schedule articles. And this will create one article for each keyword, add them to the schedule automatically, and then start publishing these articles to your website every single day. So it really is that simple. And once you've got all of this in place, you don't have to do anything at all. You can just leave this running automatically, publishing articles, and then you'll start to see more and more organic traffic dripping into your website. If you invest in this long enough, those results will start to compound until you start to get huge traffic numbers like we've seen in this example here. But I'm not going to pretend that you'll get this overnight. This does take years to get to, but within the space of a few months, you might start to see numbers like this. The next part of this equation is to increase our domain ratings so we can start to rank for higher quality keywords. And the only way to do that is to acquire backlinks. I've filmed another video which covers exactly that topic that you can watch here. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. And if you want more SEO tips from me, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.